Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tip. My name is Julian and we are fast approaching the halfway mark of the season. We're pretty much there. This is the Weekend Adds episode for week 11 of the fantasy hockey season. As usual guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. If you do want to take your support to the next level, you can follow me on Patreon. The link is in the description below. And if you do want to check out my merch store to get some awesome pieces of merch just like this one, you can go to fantasytip.com. Let's jump right into the video now, and let's start with the schedule for this weekend. So because it is Christmas this weekend, there are no games on Saturday or on Sunday, and there's actually none on Monday for that matter as well. Looking forward to next week. But we're looking at this weekend, and because there are no games Saturday and Sunday, this is a short week with only 5 days. So usually for this kind of video, I look at Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for my weekend video. But because there are no games at all on Saturday and Sunday, I'm actually going to be taking a look at Thursday and Friday games specifically. And that's why this video is coming out a day sooner than usual, just because I'm looking at Thursday games, which I don't normally do. So since we're looking at players that play both Thursday and Friday and could potentially save your week, we're taking a look at players from the following teams: Boston, Calgary, Carolina, Los Angeles, the New York Islanders, Ottawa, Philadelphia, Vancouver, Washington, and Winnipeg. Those 10 teams all play both Thursday and Friday. So if you do have room in your lineup both those nights, you can grab a guy to play 2 games and potentially help you secure your win this week. Now, the number one guy that I would grab if I were you is Travis Konecny of the Philadelphia Flyers. He has been unreal all season as long as he has been healthy, putting up a lot of points. And it's very consistent too, so definitely the number one ad for me. And then I have Jake DeBrusk and Taylor Hall. DeBrusk plays with Bergeron and Marchand, and Taylor Hall is actually playing on the third line, but is still pretty hot right now, so both those guys are excellent ads. Then I have Adrian Kempe, who's back up on that top line with Kopitar and Fiala, as well as the top power play, and he definitely has been heating up as of late. Definitely a great ad there. Then Anders Lee, who's a little bit streaky, but still overall in the season has been pretty good, which is why I have him here. And then I would go with Tyler Toffoli, who plays top line and top power play in Calgary and has been pretty decent all year long. Then I have David Krejci of the Boston Bruins, who plays on that second line with David Pastrnak and Pavel Zacha, the Czech line, and he has been pretty good, especially as of late. Then I have JVR and Kevin Hayes of the Philadelphia Flyers, and these guys are being tossed all around the lineup, but both these guys have been producing all year as long as they have been healthy. JVR hasn't been healthy that often, but when he has been healthy, he has been producing. Both these guys are excellent ads if you need someone for those 2 days. Then Andrei Kuzmenko, and obviously, guys, we know the story of Andrei Kuzmenko. He's incredibly streaky. Right now, he seems to be on one of the colder stretches, but all it takes is for one game for this guy to catch fire, and he could put up like 4 or 5 points for you over those 2 games that you have him. It's a risk, obviously, because you may end up with nothing, but there's definitely a big potential for points. So if you're desperate and you really need a big boom at the end of your week to have any chance of winning, Kuzmenko is the guy that you are probably going to want to stream. Then Victor Arvidsson is now playing on the third line, but has been a significantly better as of late. That's why I have him here. Then I have Mr. Jean-Gabriel Pageau of the New York Islanders, plays on the top power play and third line, and has actually been pretty decent the entire season. No one's super spectacular, but consistent enough that he definitely could help you for those 2 games. Then Adam Lowry of the Winnipeg Jets, third line center, and has been a lot better than expected this season, putting up points pretty consistently, and if you do have hits in your league, a little bit of a safe floor there as well. Then Zach Parise, who plays on that third line with Jean-Gabriel Pageau, but it doesn't get that top power play time like Pageau gets that second power play time. But Parise has actually been pretty good this year, a top 150 player in most leagues, and definitely a viable streamer. Then I have Trevor Moore and Philip Dano, who play on the second line in Los Angeles alongside Yafalo, who's been moved up to that second line now. And while both those guys are kind of cold right now, overall in the season, they've been pretty good. So all it takes is for them to heat up just a little bit, and they can put up a few points for you. And we have Dylan Dubé, who's probably the hottest player on the Flames right now, playing on the top line with Lindholm and with Toffoli. And he's been doing pretty freaking well. As long as he continues this hot streak, you can stream him. And he's definitely a viable ad for Thursday and Friday games. And then I have TJ Oshie of the Washington Capitals, and as of right now, he's day-to-day, but if he is healthy for this weekend, definitely worth a pickup. If he isn't healthy, other Washington Capitals that you can look at are Connor Sherry, who appears a little bit later on this list, or even guys like Mantha and Sonny Milano, who are doing a lot better as of late. Definitely guys you can take a look at. Then Cole Perfetti of the Winnipeg Jets has been pretty solid this year. He's been a little bit colder in his last few games. Obviously losing Wheeler on his line definitely hurts. Kuhlman is just not as good as Wheeler, unfortunately, but Perfetti has been pretty good all year, and definitely at this point in the list is a pretty good option if nobody above him is available. And then Connor Sherry, I already talked about a little bit. And then finally, Stefan Nason of the Carolina Hurricanes. And I wanted to throw him on here because he's actually been surprisingly good, considering that he's a fourth line player. He has been putting up points very consistently. The reason for that, or at least a big reason for that, is he actually is getting top power play time in Carolina for whatever reason, and it's working for them. So he's a guy who you can definitely add in deeper leagues, definitely could potentially put up a couple points in those two games. Jumping into defenseman now, and we're going to first look at Noah Hanifin of the Calgary Flames. Obviously, this dude has been really, really good ever since the beginning of the year, where he was completely non-existent, didn't do anything for peripherals or for points. He's really done a complete 180. He's putting up some nice blocks, peripherals, decent amount of shots and hits, and he's putting up points relatively frequently, so he is definitely a valuable fantasy asset, and if he is available for you, could be a good streamer for those two nights. Then Luke Shen is a guy who you're going to want to add only if you have hits in your leagues. A cat league with hits or a points league with hits, as long as it counts for points, Luke Shen is a great option. He's leading the league right now in hits per game. He has been excellent. Then Dmitry Orlov of the Washington Capitals, someone who always puts up a safe floor. He's not someone who's ever going to really you're going to look at his stats and you're like, oh my God, but you're going to look at his stats and he's very consistent. He gets you a safe enough floor with shots one night or blocks another night, or maybe an assist or a goal another night. That's pretty good for that floor. And then Neil Pionk is the same kind of thing. He'll get you a little bit of a floor with hits, but not as much as Orlov, and definitely could put up some points frequently as well. Sean Dursey is someone who gets power play 2-time in Los Angeles. He's kind of ice cold right now though, so I actually might be preferring the next guy on this list instead, Brady Shea, who despite not really getting any power play time, has been putting up points as of late. Now that's not sustainable, but as long as he's doing that, definitely someone you can stream for those two nights. Then I have Matt Love, the Los Angeles Kings, and he's also a guy to give you a pretty safe floor with peripherals, and then occasionally a point once in a while. And my apologies, he is getting second power play time. Then I have Ryan Pulock of the New York Islanders, who actually has been really ice cold as of late. Not someone I'm liking a lot right now, but if you're desperate, he is someone that you still can consider streaming for this weekend. Brendan Dillon's the same kind of thing. A safe-ish floor, not as good as the guys above him, but still someone that, if you're really desperate, can give you a little bit of a safe floor for two nights. Then Ristolainen is the same kind of thing, mostly with hits though. He blocks a little bit as well, but hits really are his bread and butter. If you're looking for points, you're looking at the wrong guy, because Ristolainen does not have a single point this year. But the safe floor he will give you with those hits and those blocks. Taking a look at goalies now, and these goalies will get a start either on Thursday or on Friday. One of the goalies and the number one guy that I would stream is Charlie Lindgren. If he gets Thursday, he'll play at Ottawa, or Friday, he'll play Winnipeg. He probably gets Friday since Kemper is back, and they'll probably want to start him finally. Then Darth Vladar will probably either get Los Angeles on Thursday or Anaheim on Friday. Hopefully he gets Anaheim. It would be a great stream. Then Phoenix Copley of the Los Angeles Kings has just been fantastic for the Kings, and they're starting him every single night. Poor Jonathan Quick, but Copley is looking like a nice ad right now. If you haven't added him yet, I would recommend doing so. But he's definitely a good streamer if you just want to stream him for this weekend. He'll either get Calgary on Thursday or Arizona on Friday. And then we got Semyon Varlamov if he's healthy. I know he's a little bit injured right now. He'll get New York Rangers on Thursday or Florida on Friday. If Varlamov is not healthy, it will be Corey Schneider that will get one of those two games unless they decide to play Sorokin back-to-backs. They have done that before when Corey Schneider was called up. It's a little bit of a slap in the face to Corey Schneider, but they have done that. So don't necessarily expect Schneider to get a game if Varlamov is not healthy this weekend. Then Antti Ranta will either get Pittsburgh or Philly. Sladen will either get Winnipeg or New Jersey. Forsberg will either get Washington or Detroit. And then big save Dave Riddick will either get Boston or Washington. Some pretty tough matchups considering how good Washington has been lately. Then Felix Sandstrom will either get Toronto or Carolina. Some more tough matchups. And then finally, Spencer Martin and Colin Delia will each get a matchup, either Seattle or Edmonton. Jumping into the categories league section of this video now, and if you're looking for shots on goal to make sure that you win that category, the number one guy to stream is Travis Konechny. Funny enough, he's the number one guy that I recommended to stream overall for those 2 nights. So not only is he going to get you points, he'll get you shots on goal with 3.3 per game. Trevor Moore is the next best guy with 3.2. DeBrus 3.1. Toffoli and Taylor Hall 3.0. Lee 2.9. Hayes 2.9. Backlund 2.7. And Scott Lawton 2.4 if you need a low-owned option. If you need blocks, the number one guy to add is Rasmus Ristolainen. 2.4 blocks per game. He's doing pretty well in that department this year. Provorov, same thing, 2.4. Romanov, 2.1. Hannafin, 1.9. Jensen, 1.9. Jersey, 1.9. And Mayfield, also 1.9. The pickings aren't that great for blocks this week, so unless you only have just a couple of blocks to catch up on, I don't necessarily recommend trying to catch up in that category. If you need hits, the number one guy, as it is every week, is Luke Schenn, who hits 4.5 times per game. So over those 2 games, he'll get you about 9 hits, which is absolutely fantastic. Delorier, 4.1. Clutterbuck, 3.8. Hathaway, 3.5. Martin, 3.5. McEwen, 3.4. Connor Clifton, 2.9. And Curtis Lazar, 2.9 as well. He's actually 0% rostered, so definitely an option there. And then finally, if you need face-off wins for those 2 nights, the number one guy to grab would be Jean-Gabriel Pageau, 11.1 face-offs per game. Jordan Staal, 9.4. Dano, 8.9. Backlund, 8.5. Lowry, 7.9. And then a trio of Washington Capitals: Elder, 6.7. Dowd, 6.6. And Strome, 6.4. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you enjoyed the content today, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out my merch store, guys, you can check that out at fantasytipped.com. Thanks so much, guys, and I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.